Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Folsom Field, site of the Colorado Buffaloes' 48-0 victory over the Nicholls Colonels. I am here with Ryan Koenigsberg and Jake Shapiro of BSNDenver. And guys, not much to take away from this, mainly because it was Nicholls State, a team that is now on a 21-game losing streak. But some, good stories within the game, and, a very good game overall from Colorado. So what's your immediate takeaway from here, Ryan?
Yeah, like you said, there's some fun storylines in here. Jay McIntyre gets his first catch. It turns out to be his first touchdown as well. In the press conference, he is just beaming with happiness. It's fun to see kind of, that realness out of a player where he can't even really contain himself when he starts talking about that. He said he's always looked up to his father's players, and to finally be one of those guys making those plays was a huge deal to him. So that's cool to see. You've got Jared Bell, the sixth-year senior, making 2 interceptions out there. He kind of played it down, but did say he was going to take some jabs at those younger guys because he now leads the team in interceptions. So those things are great for a team in terms of their morale. And then, of course, just getting a blowout win and a shutout win can be a big confidence booster. And as McIntyre said at the end of the press conference, anytime you win games, it's a confidence builder.
And that game, the first shutout since 2009 when Colorado beat Wyoming by a score of 24-0. Shap, as we look forward and we look towards Oregon, we look towards what will be a very daunting Pac-12 schedule, what do you think? What are some of the best things that came out of this game that will help when they go up against what is going to be a very good Duck team?
Well, as you said, Colorado hasn't shut out a team in a long time, and this was a true blowout victory, 48-0. This win was in the bag from 5 minutes in the game on. It was a great showing from Colorado. They're finally learning how to win football games. I posed that question to McIntyre in the press conference, and he said, yeah, it's a great thing. Our confidence is flowing, and we're really learning how to win football games. He said we won a close game last week, and we won 2 blowouts so far, is what he said. And Colorado looks like a really solid football team. They're no joke this year. They've already amassed their win total from last season, and they're looking like a real solid football team as it stands right now heading into conference play.
A really complete game overall for Colorado. Offense, defense, rushing went for over 300 yards again. First time since 2002 that's happened. But I couldn't help but wonder that there was still a bit of an issue with the passing game in Sefo Liufau. Now, Ryan, we were talking before we came on air and saying that there is a bit of an issue with his shoulder and injury, but do you really buy that is what's bugging him so much?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I do, because he doesn't miss throws that bad normally. McIntyre actually said in the postgame that he wasn't able to throw all week until the very end of the week. So anytime that you're so used to a rhythm, so used to throwing so often, and you have to take 3, 4, 5 days off from throwing the ball, it's going to mess up your rhythm a little bit. And Sefo doesn't like to make excuses, but he did say, I was in pain out there, but it's not an excuse. That's kind of his way of saying, this is my excuse, and I'm not going to use it as an excuse. But it did seem like he was in pain out there, and it did seem like there was something off. He had a bunch of wide open guys that he missed, and of course there's the issues with his field vision, which that has nothing to do with his shoulder. But to see him miss kind of some of those throws just to Nelson on the sidelines or other throws like that and 5-10 yards above their head, that to me leads me to believe it was a little more. McIntyre sounded confident that he won't be dealing with the quite the same amount of pain next week.
And despite those issues, Nelson Spruce did eventually become Colorado's a career all-time leader in receiving yards today, passing Michael Westbrook. So, Shap, when you look at Sefo and you look at Nelson Spruce, statistically, they are CU's most prolific pass-catch duo of all time. Is that an assessment that you would agree with, having seen them all these years?
Well, a lot of it has to play into offenses are run differently right now than they are or have been in the past. But you know what? Sefo's no joke as a quarterback. He makes the plays. Larry Zimmer has said this time and time again in his own broadcast that if I want any quarterback, I want it to be Sefo Liufau. I trust Sefo Liufau out there. And Sefo makes a lot of plays when they need to be made. And Nelson's a guy who's been very quiet this season, but still is getting 80 yards, 70 yards a game, 6, 7 catches, has looked very, very good. So maybe they're not the most explosive duo, but they get the job done. And in this modern day of offense, they've excelled at what they're doing.
So next week's game against Oregon is going to be the big one. Prime time on the mothership. Not two, not you. It's ESPN. So when you look at that game, the rumors up in the box are that they're 4,000 tickets off of a sellout already, and we're not even at Sunday yet. So when you look at that game and you look at what's coming ahead, how big is this win for the Buffaloes to have it in their pocket and to be confident that they will be able to at least play up to a team that is as good as Oregon is?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's huge. Obviously they're extremely confident right now. That defense feels like they're a lot better than they were last year. The flip side of that is they just played a team that is extremely slow, and now they're going to go play probably the fastest team in the country. That's a very tough transition. I think the atmosphere in this building is going to be incredible. They're trying to go silver, black, alternating the sections, which could be really, really cool if the fans come through.
Right, yeah.
And, obviously they're going to have a fresh new uniform combination that will surely be much better than the one they had today. and I think all those combined, we could have something special here in Folsom Field. And those nighttime games on ESPN have a bit of a reputation here. But the Buffs are going to really have their hands full.
Shap, agree, disagree?
This is the biggest stage Colorado football's been on in quite some time, and this is the first time I've personally felt that Colorado can compete with an Oregon team. I don't necessarily think they can win the game, but I do feel as they can compete with them for at least 3-4 quarters. And that hasn't been said in a long time. And yes, Oregon's a fast team, a speed team, but they don't have Marcus Mariota there anymore. They've had Vernon Adams, who has looked shaky at times, and the Buffs' defense has been known to be opportunistic and take over on some of the other teams' misfortunes. So the Buffs can compete in this game, and it's a huge stage for Colorado football, Colorado football fans to really show that this program is not dead and that they have an opportunity to not only build upon this year, but to make this year great.
And that game will be in prime time, 8 p.m. on ESPN here in Boulder. That'll do it for me, Andrew Haubner, along with BSNDenver's Ryan Koenigsberg and Jake Shapiro. Guys, thanks. Final score here at Folsom, 48-0 Colorado defeats the Nicholls Colonels. We hope you be along with our coverage from BSNDenver as well as us at GBSM Sports. You can follow Ryan at Ryan Koenigsberg, Jake Shapiro at Shapalicious, and myself at A_G_Haubner. Thank you guys very much. We will see you next week.